Chapter 1. The extinction event 66 million years ago. In an ancient world where sprawling forests stretched like an endless green carpet and towering mountains rose like giant sentinels guarding the sky, the Cretaceous period was at its peak of glory. Dinosaurs, the mighty lords of the land, reigned supreme. From the ferocious Tyrannosaurus rex, with jagged teeth sharp as daggers, to the serene Brachiosaurus, their long necks reaching skyward like living pillars amidst nature. Above, pterosaurs soared with wings spread wide like colossal sails, gliding effortlessly in the breeze. Beneath the deep oceans, mosasaurs, long as ancient warships, dominated the saltwater realm. Life thrived with vigor, blending into a wild symphony of creation. But in the vastness of the cosmos, a dark omen loomed silently. A massive asteroid, 10 to 12 kilometers wide, a cold mass of rock and metal, hurtled toward Earth at a terrifying speed. 40 times faster than the sound barrier's crack. It was like an arrow of death, loosed from the invisible bow of fate, aimed straight at the peaceful blue planet. Then the moment arrived, sudden. Merciless. The asteroid tore through the atmosphere, blazing like a falling sun, illuminating the night. It slammed into what is now the Gulf of Mexico, striking Earth with the force of thousands of volcanoes erupting at once. The explosion roared, louder than any sound ever heard, like the final bellow of an enraged god. Its power, equivalent to 100 trillion tons of TNT, defied imagination, shaking the planet like a leaf in a storm. From the impact's epicenter, a column of fire and smoke soared hundreds of kilometers into the sky, a beacon of destruction lighting the heavens. Shockwaves rippled outward, a giant hand sweeping away everything in its path. Tsunamis, tall as skyscrapers, surged from the ocean, swallowing ancient forests and panicked dinosaur herds. Earthquakes split the ground, opening deep chasms like unhealing scars on Earth's body. Wildfires erupted everywhere, crimson flames dancing like demons unleashed from hell. But this was only the beginning of the tragedy. The collision flung a colossal cloud of dust, rock, and ash into the sky, forming a black shroud that engulfed the planet. Sunlight, the lifeblood of all creatures, was choked out entirely. Earth plunged into a frigid darkness, as if a grand stage had dropped its curtain after the final act. Acid rain poured relentlessly, like toxic tears from the sky, corroding leaves, soil, and the flesh of the unfortunate. Temperatures plummeted, turning once warm lands into icy wastelands of death. Plants, robbed of light for photosynthesis, withered and died, triggering the collapse of the food chain. The mighty dinosaurs, once proud and invincible, fell to hunger and cold, their massive forms fading into shadows in the thick fog. In mere weeks, over 75% of Earth's life was wiped out. Dinosaurs, rulers for millions of years, along with giant marine reptiles and skybound pterosaurs, vanished from the world. They lay still, turning to bleached bones, the last remnants of a golden age. The oceans fell silent, no longer stirred by massive creatures. The skies emptied, devoid of pterosaur wings. Earth became a vast graveyard, with only the wind whistling through dead forests. Yet, amid this brutality, one era ended to make way for a new beginning. The extinction event 66 million years ago, though a horrific catastrophe, opened a door to the future. From the ashes of the Cretaceous, tiny creatures, once overshadowed by the giants, survived quietly, awaiting their chance to rise. From the ruins, a new world emerged, where the humblest would write the next chapter in the grand book of life. Chapter 2, The Survival of Small Creatures. After the apocalypse, as the massive dust clouds slowly dissipated, they revealed a ravaged, frozen world. Earth was no longer the domain of towering lords. Forests, once lush, were now charred stumps, standing like brittle skeletons under a gray sky. Gone were the roars of dinosaurs and the shadows of pterosaurs overhead. Instead, a haunting silence reigned, broken only by the wind's howl through cracked stones or the faint squeaks of tiny creatures struggling to survive. Yet, in that silence, a new story began. From the fissures in the earth, from dark caves, and from the remnants of trees, small creatures, once eclipsed by the dinosaurs' grandeur, emerged. They were the unexpected champions of life. Resilient survivors in a world forever changed. Among them was a special species, Purgatorius, a distant ancestor of humans. Small as a mouse, with soft fur and keen eyes. Purgatorius wasn't the most striking creature in the animal kingdom, but its tiny size was its key to survival. While giant dinosaurs succumbed to starvation and cold, Purgatorius and other small beings hid in rock crevices, burrowed underground, or climbed the remaining branches to escape scorching winds and acid rain. Their adaptability was their secret weapon. Purgatorius didn't just live in trees, it could dig burrows or swim when needed. They were like skilled acrobats, performing on tightropes, underwater, or underground as circumstances demanded. When forests burned, they sheltered beneath the earth, waiting out the flames. When food grew scarce, they ventured to the surface, risking danger to find new sustenance. And food was a different tale altogether. While larger species relied on specific, abundant resources, small creatures like Purgatorius tapped into a variety of nutrients. They weren't picky like finicky kings, they were culinary explorers, willing to try anything edible. Insects, plants, fungi, all became part of their survival feast. After the impact. As plants began to recover, ferns and fungi sprouted like pioneers in a new world. Purgatorius adapted swiftly, nibbling tender fern leaves, digging for juicy mushrooms. Or catching tiny insects, also fighting to survive in this harsh realm. But survival wasn't just about size, shelter, or food, it was about adapting to sudden environmental shifts. Purgatorius and its kin developed clever strategies, adjusting their behavior like talented actors slipping into new roles. When temperatures dropped, they curled up in warm nests in trees or underground, shielding themselves from the biting cold. When food ran out in one area, they moved on, fearlessly exploring new territories. Thanks to these traits, small creatures didn't just survive, they began to thrive in a post-apocalyptic world. They were the seeds of new life, sown in barren soil, waiting to sprout and grow strong. While giants like dinosaurs faded into history, these tiny beings quietly penned a new chapter in the epic tale of life. From their small steps, a long, wondrous journey began, one that would eventually lead to the rise of humans, the most intelligent beings Earth would ever know. But that's a story for a distant future. For now. In the desolate aftermath, Purgatorius and its tiny allies staked their claim, proving that greatness sometimes lies not in size, but in resilience and adaptability. Chapter 3, Purgatorius. Potential ancestor of primates. In a shattered world after the apocalypse, as thick dust clouds slowly cleared, they unveiled an earth scarred deeply. Amid the ruins, a small but vibrant creature quietly asserted its existence, Purgatorius, an ancient primate no bigger than a mouse. With soft fur hugging its body and large, gleaming eyes like jewels in the dark. It was a mere droplet in the vast ocean of life. Yet, Purgatorius carried immense potential, possibly the farthest ancestor of humankind. Purgatorius didn't impress with size or strength. It lacked the sharp claws of fierce predators or the tough armor to shield itself. But its smallness was its golden ticket through the narrow gate of survival. While massive dinosaurs fell under the weight of disaster, Purgatorius sought refuge among the treetops, safe from ground-level threats, gazing at the world with hopeful eyes. The environment it inhabited was no longer the vibrant canvas of the Cretaceous. It was a wasteland after a brutal storm, ancient forests reduced to blackened trunks under a bleak sky. Plants were devastated, food a rare gift from nature. Harsh winds cut through, but Purgatorius refused to yield. It chose life in the trees, turning sparse foliage into a protective home. Sturdy branches into safe pathways. From this vantage point, it watched the world below, patiently awaiting chances to forage without facing direct danger. Its adaptability was a marvel. Not limited to climbing, Purgatorius dug burrows when needed, crafting warm, hidden shelters. At times, it even swam across small streams to reach food on the other side. Like a gifted artist. It danced across branches, hid underground, or glided through water as the situation required. This flexibility helped it endure the post-catastrophe chaos, wildfires, acid rain, and all. When it came to eating, Purgatorius wasn't fussy like a spoiled monarch. While larger species depended on abundant, fixed food sources, Purgatorius was a tireless explorer. Ready to taste anything edible. As plants revived post-disaster, ferns and fungi emerged as trailblazers. Purgatorius adapted fast, nibbling soft fern leaves, unearthing plump mushrooms. Or hunting tiny insects struggling to survive. Each meal was a journey of discovery, a symphony of life amid countless hardships. What convinces scientists Purgatorius might be our ancestor? The answer lies in precious fossils unearthed over time. Its tiny teeth and ankle bones reveal traits akin to modern primates. Though small, its teeth were suited for chewing both plants and insects, hinting at dietary versatility. Flexible ankles showed agility in climbing and moving through trees, a key feature of later primates. These clues, like scattered puzzle pieces, paint a broader picture of Purgatorius's role in the tree of life. Purgatorius lived from 10,000 to 140,000 years after the extinction event, as Earth slowly healed from the asteroid's fatal blow. In those tough years, it laid the first bricks for the evolution of future primates. More than mere survivors on the edge of life and death, they were trailblazers, starting a new branch of life that, millions of years later, would lead to humans, the planet's smartest beings. Though small and humble, Purgatorius proved that in the kingdom of life, Resilience and adaptability, not size or strength, unlock survival. From its tiny steps on branches, it began an endless journey, one that would, millions of years later, propel humanity to the heights of knowledge and civilization. Chapter 4, Environmental Aftermath and Recovery. After the fateful collision, Earth was no longer the radiant green gem cradling life in gentle arms. It became a grim painting, awash in cold grays, scarred by destruction's deep wounds. The asteroid, an unfeeling blade from the cosmos, had shredded the planet's verdant cloak, leaving a legacy of ruin. Ancient forests, once alive with the songs of countless creatures, stood as charred husks. Ghostly silhouettes in a silent wasteland. Plants, the vital link between earth and sky, took a mortal blow, seemingly beyond recovery. Sunlight, the flame of photosynthesis, was blocked by a thick atmospheric dust veil, thrusting surviving greenery into a desperate fight for life in icy darkness. Yet nature, with the tenacity of an unyielding warrior, refused to surrender to fate. From the ashes of disaster, it began reweaving the tapestry of life with fragile but resolute threads. It wasn't towering trees or vibrant flowers that led the revival. Instead, ferns and fungi, humble, quiet beings with fierce wills to live, stepped forward. Ferns, with delicate silk-like leaves yet steel-like resolve, rose from scorched soil. Green flags proclaiming hope's return. They crept through rock fissures, clung to rotting trunks, and spread lush carpets amid the wreckage, like glimmers of light on a dark canvas. Meanwhile, fungi emerged as mysterious alchemists of the post-apocalyptic world. Needing no sunlight, they conjured life from shadow, transforming decayed organic scraps into new vitality. From cold soil, fallen logs, and even the remains of the fallen, fungi sprouted in strange shapes and vivid colors. They wove an underground network, a secret bloodstream nourishing life. These juicy mushrooms weren't just nature's wonders, they became vital food for survivors, from tiny insects to larger beings like Purgatorius. The rise of ferns and fungi, though modest, cracked open a door of hope for a broken ecosystem. Small animals, once huddled in deep burrows to escape the catastrophe's wrath, now cautiously emerged into the dim light of a new world. Purgatorius, with sharp survival instincts, quickly adapted to nature's new offerings. It nibbled tender fern leaves, dug for hidden fungi, and hunted insects bustling atop the fresh vegetation. Each bite was a note in life's symphony, proof that resilience could bloom even in adversity. But recovery wasn't a rose-strewn path. The ecosystem, like a gravely wounded body, needed time to heal its deep cuts, not decades, but thousands, even millions of years, before Earth could breathe steadily again. Majestic ancient forests couldn't regrow overnight. Life restarted with tiny seeds carried by the wind, fungal spores quietly spreading, and small creatures patiently rebuilding broken food chains. Over those long eons, the world kept shifting. Climate danced unpredictably, from bone-chilling cold to odd warm spells, testing every species' adaptability. Yet, in that struggle, life forged itself anew. Purgatorius and others evolved, thicker fur to brave the cold, nimbler legs to explore new lands. Each small change laid a brick in the foundation of a future ecosystem. Over millennia, the landscape transformed. New forests sprouted, not as grand as the past, but brimming with vitality. Ferns and fungi gave way to the first woody trees, their canopies sheltering countless species. Food chains rebuilt, with new predators and prey blending into a rhythmic song of survival. In this post-apocalyptic world, life wasn't just about survivors, it was about pioneers. Unsung architects laying the groundwork for a new era. From the ashes of disaster, a new Earth took shape, fragile yet defiant, proving that even in the deepest darkness, life's light persists, waiting to shine anew. Chapter 5, The Evolution of Mammals. As the thick dust from the fateful impact settled, Earth emerged as a shattered canvas. Forests that once stood proud were now ash pillars, stark against a cold, silent world. The thunderous roars of dinosaurs faded, their massive forms lost to time. But in that eerie stillness, a new chapter of life quietly began. From Earth's cracks, deep caves, and surviving trees, tiny creatures, once overshadowed by Jurassic lords, stepped into the spotlight. A chance from the ashes. The extinction of dinosaurs wasn't just an end. It was a beginning. It was as if a giant door had been flung open, revealing a vast world of potential. Small creatures, long relegated to the shadows of giants, now roamed freely in an evolutionary race with no rivals. Among them, Purgatorius, a tiny being with soft fur and sharp eyes, took its first steps toward the kingdom of mammals. It wasn't a heroic warrior or fearsome predator, but a humble seed, easily overlooked in the wasteland. Yet its small size was its strength. While dinosaurs fell to hunger and cold, Purgatorius slipped through rock gaps, burrowed underground, or climbed broken branches to find life. It was a relentless explorer, testing every path to survive. A survivor artist balancing on the tightrope between life and death. From there, mammals blossomed. No longer confined to the world's dark corners. They spread across ecosystems, from sprawling grasslands to deep oceans. Their diversification was a vibrant symphony, each species a new note in life's chorus. From tiny to titanic. The evolution of mammals was a tale of wondrous transformation. From humble ancestors like Purgatorius, they grew and spread. Massive elephants with curved tusks like swords roamed Africa's plains. Manatees, the ocean's gentle mermaids, grazed seagrass in warm waters like diligent gardeners. Bears, with thick fur and awe-inspiring strength, ruled deep forests, facing any challenge head-on. This diversity didn't happen overnight, it was millions of years of adaptation. A painting built stroke by stroke, each adding a new hue. Some chose treetop life, leaping like skilled dancers. Others dug burrows, turning darkness into safety. Some ventured to sea, swimming fearlessly as explorers. Mammals proved that from modest beginnings, they could reach every corner of Earth. The spark of primate intelligence. Among these branches, primates shone brightly. From tree-dwelling ancestors, they developed a new weapon, intelligence. Around 17 million years ago, as the world stabilized and tropical forests expanded, primates ignited a spark of thought. At first a faint flicker in the dark, it soon blazed fiercely. They learned to use tools, broken branches became weapons or digging aids. They communicated with complex sounds, laying language's foundation. Most crucially, they began seeing the world not just with eyes, but with minds, predicting, reflecting, creating. Primate intelligence was a river. Starting as tiny drops but growing into a mighty current, sweeping everything along. The rise of humans. This journey culminated in a grand milestone, humanity's emergence. From clever primate ancestors, humans arose with unmatched intellect. They didn't just adapt to the world, they reshaped it. They lit fires for warmth and cooking, built shelters, and crafted tools to conquer nature. If Purgatorius was the seed of survival, humans were the towering tree, casting shade across Earth. But this isn't just about human greatness. It's about mammals' epic journey, from tiny beings in the shadows to giants ruling land and sea, and finally to brilliant minds shaping the world. The dinosaurs' extinction opened the door. But mammals, with resilience, flexibility, and creativity, walked through to write a glorious chapter in life's history. Chapter 6. Scientific exploration of the extinction event. In a world where science is a grand adventure, researchers are tireless explorers, tracing faint clues to unravel mysteries buried by time. One of Earth's greatest enigmas is the mass extinction at the Cretaceous end, when over 75% of life, including mighty dinosaurs, vanished 66 million years ago. How do we decode a prehistoric catastrophe? It starts with tiny hints, fragments of a vast puzzle, guiding scientists to a stunning truth: a cosmic invader forever altered Earth's fate. The Alvarez hypothesis, a cosmic fingerprint. In 1980, father-son duo Luis and Walter Alvarez entered the scene with a bold idea that shook science like an earthquake. Not fossil-hunting dinosaur experts, but a physicist and geologist, an odd, brilliant pair. Studying rock layers at the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary, they found something extraordinary. A thin layer rich in iridium, a rare element on Earth's surface but abundant in meteorites, a clue left by an uninvited space visitor. To the Alvarezes. This wasn't random, it was strong evidence a giant asteroid struck Earth, triggering the mass extinction. Their hypothesis was a flare in the dark, lighting an uncharted path. But they needed more proof, a tangible mark of that fateful impact. The hunt began, a quest for treasure buried under time's dust. The Chicxulub crater, Earth's scar. Far off in the Gulf of Mexico. Geologists Glenn Penfield and Antonio Camargo were busy in the late 1970s, not chasing asteroid clues, but hunting oil for Petróleos Mexicanos, Pemex. During aerial surveys, they stumbled on a strange structure beneath the seabed, a massive crater, 180 kilometers wide, cloaked in thick sediment like a blanket of time. At first, they didn't realize they'd touched a key puzzle piece. Their data stayed locked away by the oil company, the crater slumbering as a forgotten secret. But by 1990, as other scientists connected the dots, the truth emerged. Named after a nearby town, the Chicxulub crater was the vivid proof the Alvarezes sought, a giant scar etched into Earth. Evidence of the day a 10 to 12 kilometer asteroid crashed from space. That impact wasn't just a blow, it was a storm of destruction, unleashing energy equal to tens of trillions of tons of TNT. Tsunamis rose, earthquakes rattled, wildfires raged, and a thick dust veil plunged Earth into a long, cold winter. Penfield and Camargo's find, paired with the Alvarez hypothesis, turned scattered pieces into a complete picture, a tale of catastrophe and rebirth. A legacy from the past. The Cretaceous extinction wasn't just a dark chapter, it was a turning point shaping life as we know it. Discoveries from Iridium to Chicxulub revealed that this disaster, though devastating, paved the way for mammals, including human ancestors, to rise from the ashes. Had that asteroid not fallen, dinosaurs might still rule, and humanity's story might never have begun. The tale of the Alvarez hypothesis and Chicxulub is an inspiring scientific journey, where tiny clues like iridium dust and chance finds beneath the sea unveiled an ancient calamity. Like explorers decoding a prehistoric riddle, scientists showed us the past isn't just a finished tale, it's a mirror, reflecting the fragility and wonder of life on Earth. Chapter 7. The role of catastrophe in human evolution. Imagine a world where giant dinosaurs still reign. Their massive feet trample endless fields, sharp teeth tear through dense forests. In that world, small, fragile creatures, distant human ancestors, cower in shadows, trembling beneath the giant's dominion. But fate had other plans. One fateful day, 66 million years ago, an uninvited cosmic guest arrived, wielding destruction and an unexpected opportunity. A massive asteroid, blazing like a fiery arrow, slammed into Earth, shaking the planet and forever altering history's course. Catastrophe. Destroyer and creator. That space object, roughly 10 to 12 kilometers wide, wasn't just a lifeless rock. It was a herald of chaos, crashing with terrifying speed, leaving a gaping scar on Earth's surface. The impact erupted like nature's fury, unleashing towering firestorms, skyscraper-high tsunamis, and a dust shroud that hid the sun. Earth sank into a prolonged, frigid winter where light became a distant memory. Over 75% of life, including dinosaurs who'd ruled for hundreds of millions of years, vanished in an instant. Yet, from that wreckage and ash, a spark of hope flickered. Without this disaster, dinosaurs, Earth's invincible lords, might still dominate. They'd thrived for eons with no sign of decline, crushing any chance for others to rise. Mammals, tiny beings squeezed into burrows and under leaves, would remain silent ghosts, never stepping into the light. And humans, with sharp minds and boundless ambition, might never have graced life's stage. A door to new life. The catastrophe, though brutal, was like an unseen hand wiping the slate clean, leaving a blank canvas for new strokes. As dust settled and sunlight returned, mammals, resilient survivors, emerged from the dark. Free from dinosaur tyranny, they explored, adapted, and evolved. From tiny Purgatorius, a distant primate ancestor, mammals spread across the planet, taking countless forms, from towering elephants on grasslands to whales breaching deep oceans. Among them, primates shone as a brilliant star. With nimble hands, superior climbing skills, and expanding brains, they embarked on a quest for intelligence. Around 17 million years ago, key leaps in primate evolution laid the groundwork for humanity. Had that asteroid not struck, had dinosaurs persisted, the door to humanity's era might have stayed shut forever. Humanity's rise. Humans, with deep thought, endless creativity, and dazzling civilizations, are the culmination of millions of years of evolution. But that journey couldn't start without the disaster that felled the dinosaurs. That event, a sharp blade severing the past's chains, ushered in a new age. From the Cretaceous ashes, a new world was painted, one where humans rose, explored every corner, gazed skyward, and pondered their origins. That catastrophe, a nightmare for dinosaurs, was a fateful gift to future life. Like a masterful artist, it destroyed to rebuild, clearing the path for humans to become the new rulers, their intellect a torch piercing the darkness. Chapter 8. Lessons from ecological history. In the wild forests of ancient New Zealand, a tale of life and death unfolded, leaving a profound lesson on existence's fragility. There, the Haast's eagle, a colossal predator with a wingspan over 3 meters, ruled the skies like a king, soaring above treetops, its keen eyes locked on its favorite prey, the moa. The moa, tall and flightless, roamed the ground like living monuments, the eagle's primary food source. For millennia, these species were bound in a predator-prey pact, etched into the island's ecological history. Then humans arrived. With sophisticated weapons and hunting tactics, they swiftly drove the moa to extinction. Within centuries, these giant birds vanished, and with them, the Haast's eagle couldn't escape its fate. Without moa, it couldn't adapt to smaller prey or shift its diet. Like a mighty warrior stripped of his sword, it stood helpless against change's storm. Soon, this great predator followed its prey into oblivion. The story of the Haast's eagle and moa is a stark warning about over-reliance on a single food source. Like a tightrope walker, one strong gust can send such species plummeting. Change, be it climate shifts, natural disasters, or human interference, as with the moa, can spell doom. Species unable to adapt or find new sustenance pay with their existence. Contrast this with 66 million years ago, after Earth's greatest catastrophe, the asteroid impact that erased dinosaurs and birthed a new era. In that post-apocalyptic world, tiny creatures like Purgatorius, distant human ancestors, survived and thrived. Their secret wasn't strength or size, but versatile adaptability. Purgatorius wasn't picky, it ate anything it could find, insects, plants, fungi. It didn't limit itself to one habitat, climbing trees, burrowing underground, or swimming streams like a tireless explorer, always ready to adapt. This flexibility was a master key, unlocking every door in a chaotic world. When environments shifted or familiar food vanished, Purgatorius and its kin didn't despair, they pivoted, seeking new opportunities, continuing their survival journey. This dietary and adaptive diversity not only carried them through the disaster but laid the foundation for mammals' rise, and ultimately, humanity's emergence. This ecological history isn't just a distant tale, it's a mirror, reflecting the value of flexibility and diversity today. Like the Haast's eagle, any species, including humans, overly dependent on one resource risks collapse when it's gone. Adaptability, learning, and diversification are the mightiest tools against relentless change. From New Zealand's forests to ancient post-apocalyptic woods, ecological history teaches that survival isn't about strength or size, it's about adaptation. In an ever-shifting world, diversity and flexibility aren't just keys to survival, they're the bedrock of growth and prosperity.